everyone. My name is Jason, and I'm here for Daily Dose of Hope Day 302. So, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. So, what is a Daily Dose of Hope? It's just that, just a daily dose of hope. I was guided to do this back in February of 2024. As my guides were saying, at that time we were in a bit of a lull, energetic lull, and that things were going to start picking up, and they have. Um, but of course, they have to. and and as the energy picks up, things start to get wackier and wackier. Everything starts to get more and more confusing, harder and harder to understand what's going on. So it's kind of like you're living in a low-budget science fiction film. And it feels that way already. I mean, it's been feeling that way for a while. So, so what we do in the Daily Dose of Hope is try to get in that middle path. So there's the two sides of the yin and yang symbol. They have the one side and the other side. But if you look closely, there is actually a path in between where you're not on one or the other. And that is the way out. That's the exit from this third dimension. That's the only way out, I think. Well, yeah, it's one of the best ways out, I think would be a better way of saying it, so that we can maintain our physical selves, but we can, yeah. So basically, the idea of ascending could just be a metaphorical idea of ascending this concept, this philosophical concept of good and bad, right and wrong, black and white, and getting beyond that and just seeing that it's all just one story. And I wanted to, today, so often, whenever I go out in public, I get kind of pings on different parts of my head from people. A lot of times it's people not even knowing what they're doing. Sometimes it's just people will project their negative stuff on me, so like maybe their anger or their dissatisfaction, or just any kind of thing that's not kind of like, hey, I hope bless you, anything that's not bless you. And a lot of times people don't even realize that they're doing it. Well, a lot of times, most of the time. So today I was feeling it again. I'm just like, oh man, I usually feel it, and then I look around to see where it's coming from, and then I usually spot the person who's kind of looking away, trying to, and I don't know if they notice it or not, but it's kind of painful, right? It doesn't feel very good. It's like, come on, that's not nice, but of course they probably don't realize that I felt it, or, and so that idea. And but it reminded me again of something I was forgetting. Something I learned from the Course in Miracles is that we're all one, right? So that everyone you see is you. So when you look at everyone that way, it helps to not be in the state of judgment, like, oh, okay, he's me, he's going through a rough day, I forgive you, I bless you, and that's what I was trying to do today. So yeah, and I've talked about this before, but if kind of understanding or seeing that everyone is one, that everyone is you, might be difficult. You can start with everyone is family. So like, oh, that guy over there, he's my uncle, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my daughter, that's my son, that's my, and if you do it that way, then it's hard to be in a state of judgment. It's like, oh, they're family, hey, and everyone's got bad days. So if you start to view everyone as family, then then it's easier to let go of judgment, to let go of, all of these things, and say, oh, okay, hey, it's good. So, hey, Kathy, and hey, Anne-Marie, welcome to today, February 2nd of 2024. Interesting. So around this era there, we had our live Q&A session a few nights ago, and so there are many festivals that are happening. There's the Chinese New Year festival, right? And then there's also the Saraswati festival as well that happens today, February 2nd. I have a affinity for Saraswati for some reason. Saraswati becomes she becomes Ben 10, and she's also related to Kanon-sama, a Kanon in Japan as well. But anyway, so that, and then there was one other. I think there must be. I think there's another New Year that starts here too. It's a Greek New Year or something. And there's also like the Celtic. What is it called? Imbolc or something like that. So in between like those two solstices. So there's a lot of celebrations going on, but it doesn't feel that way. um, so I'm going to go into a channeling, but before I do, today in my meditation, I was feeling this like heavy, anxious feeling. And I've been feeling this anxious feeling for the past, when I go inside, I've been feeling it for the past week or so. And sometimes not even when I go inside. And I'm not like an anxious type. I'm not one for anxiety attacks. I'm one that can easily, take a few breaths and I can usually get back into where I need to go. So when it gets that intense, it's very intense. It's, oh, okay, well, this is something that's kind of rare. It's been that way for the past week or so. But finally it abated a few days ago. But then when I checked inside, I felt this really intense anxiety that's going on in the mass consciousness right now. So a lot of people are freaking out is what's going on. And because it wasn't my stuff. It's like, this isn't mine. What's going on? Come on, everyone, relax. It's fine. But so a lot of people are just being shaken at this time. A lot of people were shaken during the Corona time. They were shaken. You were shaken enough, and then you were like, "Wait a second, where am I? Oh, everything looks different." And you were shaken awake, basically, shaken awake to who you are and where you are and what's going on around you. And I think that's happening on a mass scale at the moment. So it's so picking up on this thing, it kind of reminded me, it's like, oh, a lot of people are going through some really difficult times. And so just be nice to the people around you, just there, a lot of people are just going through some heavy, heavy dark nights of the soul. So yeah, that's all. Just if you see anyone who's suffering, just try to be understanding. Or if people are jumping into fear and anger and judgment, just, hold the light for them. You don't have to jump into it, but just, be there and just be like, on the sidelines, like, ooh, sending the love. There was a protest only I think a few years ago. There was, there were many protests here in where I live. Not many, but I was just walking downtown. I was kind of like looking for lunch, and they had this festival going on. So I was like, oh, let me see what they have there. And so walking around, seeing all the stalls, and then I was like, ooh, look at all those people over there. They look so sad and upset, and there's just this dark energy. And I was like, oh, it's a protest of some sort. And I walked over, and they were protesting something or other. But what I felt from it was just like, oh, it's so dark. What are they doing? Like, this isn't a protest. This is a manifestation of dark energy. It's like, it's just a gathering of people together, but you could see in their eyes, there's kind of like they weren't really there. And I was just like, oh, this isn't good. So I was kind of standing on the sides, like kind of like giving some energy to it. That's another thing too, like be careful about those kind of gatherings and things like that. Just be able to discern the energy from it. Yeah, because just in any world, there's con artists, and even in the spiritual kind of, not spiritual, but like in that kind of thing, something might look good on the surface and sound like a really good cause, but when you approach it, it's just like, oh, this isn't about that. This is about something else. You guys are, whoa, I'm getting out of here. This is a con. So yeah. And I just think it's crazy that people do that, but I guess, to each his own. I guess the world is big enough for everyone. But just, yeah. I always think about that, there are many hobbies that you could have. You could play the piano. You could learn to dance. But instead, you choose. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, but yeah, just if you see anyone that's struggling, just, people are, it's like what is it called? Like a dry field, and someone lights a match. So just understand that and give them like some breath, give them some space to deal with their stuff. T.T. Tracy says, you hear about some split going on. Seems the awakening is really being rejected by some. Yeah, well, I think it's just a new paradigm. Is like, things are not in a paradigm, but many things are being kind of revealed, and it's kind of, yeah, it's a shock to the system. And as, what is it? I think, I can't remember who it was that said that, Esmeralda or Mary Magdalene or Yeshua, one of those three. that your belief system may completely and utterly fall apart, but you'll never fall apart. You're made of love, and you can never fall apart. Another that's really good to understand is that, yeah, there could be things that can be very shocking for people, but they're not going to fall apart. I mean, their belief system may fall apart, but they themselves won't fall apart. They're made of love. They're made of the strongest substance on the planet, in the universe. So, I'm gonna go into channeling. I'm really like talkative today. Sorry about that. Woohoo! Didn't realize. All right. Before let me get some Go Beach green tea. It's funny because it always sounds like I'm plugging this, but it's not. It's just a random mug that I got. But I like the slogan. um, yeah, the green tea is just generic green tea from the. It's like restaurant grade. You can buy it online. Anywho, yes, talkative me. Here we go. I'm gonna go into channeling. Hmm. Greetings. We are that one, a representative of that one that you know of as Saraswati. And we'd like to come through today to bring the energy of the flowers, to bring the energy of the coming spring, to bring the energy of what a connection to the blooming flowers is. You see flowers as decoration, you see flowers as possibly having a beautiful smell, but there's so much more to flowers. There's so much more to your spring. Flowers are able to convey much information. Flowers have the ability to heal. If you're able to listen, if you can tune into the frequency of the flowers, then you will be able to heal yourself. The flowers are here as presents from the universe for all of you. Why else would there be these beautiful, beautiful blossoms that last for such short periods of time? They're here to show you. They're here to bring love to you. So listen, we would say, to the flowers that are coming. The flowers that are coming have many messages for all of you. Many of you have this phrase, to stop and smell the flowers, stop and smell the roses. This is very, very important in these coming times as well, especially in these times when things are heightened. You are in a heightened reality where your reality is being split apart, is being shaken up, and you're being given the ability to truly choose. You're being given a decision, one that you've never had throughout your life, a true decision where everything will start to be revealed very, very clearly. You'll be able to see what everything is and what it stands for. And then you can stand in your power and say where you would like to go. Would you like to go to this place or this place or this place or this place? It is all up to you. You make the decision with your frequency. So it is very important to understand where your frequency is, to always be aware of your frequency, and to be aware of how things affect your frequency. And to be aware of the flowers, because the flowers are the secrets. They are secrets to holding your frequency in these times when things seem to be falling apart. Have a bouquet of flowers and you'll see the world start to change for you. That is the power of the flowers. The flowers will convey that energy to you and will convey that sense of well-being to you. And then in return, what you do from the inside is change your perspective on the world. That is the power of flowers. They can change the world by changing your perspective and then allowing you to change everything from within. Okay. Um, I've heard. I was doing some channeling of some. It's a book that I'm kind of. It's like on the back burner, channeling these Tartarian beings, and one of the beings was a healer, and she healed. She was well, she sold flowers, and she healed with bouquets. So she would understand. She was able to, of course, see what the person was wrong with the person, and then she would listen to the ailment, and then she would choose the flowers that would heal that person, and then just give them a bouquet. And so, like, our idea, like, that's where bouquets came from originally. It was a healing modality, according to her. TTT Tracy, you say, I can go to the Gulf of America beach. Yeah. It's funny that I looked online, like on Google here in Japan, and it's still, they haven't changed the name, so I don't know. Maybe it's just only, yeah, in certain places. I don't know. But anyway, I think it's funny. Gulf of America. Hey Kathy, thanks for all the flowers. So guys, yeah, thank you very much for joining in today. I'm gonna call it a night. So yeah, it's about 10 o'clock here. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. And TT Tracy, I can't wait for flowers to be available. Puxatani Phil says 6 more weeks of winter. Ah, Puxatani Phil, 6 more weeks. Ah. So I hope you guys are hopeful, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys. That's a job I was thinking of doing, putting flowers together for people's hearts. Kathy says, "Oh, that's a great idea." Yeah, there you go. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you. I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't have the energy to do a pocket of peace today, but I'll try for tomorrow. So ciao for now. Thanks again, Kathy and TT Tracy for joining in.